In the middle of a pennant race, teams utilize all facets of the game to win. Sometimes it's small ball and hustle. Sometimes you have to take one for the team. Sometimes you pick up your team with a bomb. And sometimes it's a clutch performance out of the pen. Sometimes it's the starting pitcher. For the Redbirds, sometimes is now. Which facet will they use tonight? Cards and Brewers next on Fox Sports Net. Darryl Kile is 1-1 this season against the Milwaukee Brewers. Overall this year, he is 13-10, and the right-hander makes a start tonight in Game 1 of a 4-game set and a brief road trip to Milwaukee. The roof is open, the panels are open. A beautiful night for baseball here at Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Game 1 between the Cards and the Brewers. Alongside of Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and we welcome you back to Miller Park for Cardinals baseball. No doubt about it, Al, another big game here tonight.
Well, they're all big from this point forward. You just got to go out there, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. You just have to win as many games as possible. But these are fun games when you go down the stretch.
Yeah, you're talking about 20 games left for Tony La Russa and the St. Louis Cardinals, and that is it. 11 of those games will be away from Busch Stadium, and then, of course, the other 9 at St. Louis. An easy schedule? Not so, says Tony La Russa, as he's trying to get his team pumped up the rest of the way.
Well, I'll remind them that in case of Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, you know, these guys are competitors, even though they're having a tough year. They're going to go out there, and it's going to be especially sweet if they can knock off a club that's in contention. So we're in a position, we just need to accumulate wins. However many wins we can get in the last 20, they all count. So Milwaukee, I mean, we're down for the season for them, so they definitely got our attention.
Danny, these guys do realize what's at stake. You've got to go out there. You've got to play hard. The best advice you can give a team that is facing a team that's a second division team is you've got to score first. You've got to put that killer instinct at them and don't let them up. But if you score and get ahead of them, it's hard for them to come back.
And this is the kind of guy on the mound that St. Louis wants and needs to have a big start. This pitching staff is well rested, and in particular, Darryl Kile.
Well, Darryl Kile, you can see he's actually has a much better ERA in the second half, but he has not been winning ball games. He's lost his last 3 starts, so he will be pitching on 7 days rest, and I think that is a very wise decision. That also allows you to have Darryl Kile face the Houston Astros twice. But you didn't do that for that intent. You did that to give him a little rest.
Matt Morris will make his start against Houston on Friday. Kyle will also start over the weekend, and the bullpen is well rested. Cards and Brewers, Game 1, comes up next after this timeout. Pair of right-handers tonight. Darryl Kile, 13-10, will take on Jamie Wright, who's 9-10 with an ERA just under 5. And another big game for the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome back to Cardinals baseball from Miller Park. Let's take a look at the lineup for Tony La Russa's club. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Vina had 4 hits yesterday. Will lead things off. Then Polanco and Drew. 5 for his last 10. And Pujols, Edmonds, Big Mac, Renteria, Mike Matheny, and Darryl Kile. On the mound for the Brewers, Jamie Wright, part of our pitching profile here, Al. We'll know early on if he is right on or a little off his game, won't we?
That's right. He's kind of an enigma. This guy is a creature of his emotions. Sometimes he lets that get away from him. He did shut out the Cardinals on July the 3rd with 8 innings of shutout work. It was a 2-0 victory. And that's the last time he has won a game here at Miller Park.
So Vina will dig in from the left side. Vina, Polanco, and then J.D. Drew here in the first inning. This guy's not afraid of the ball. He's not afraid of getting hit by pitches, and Jamie Wright's not afraid to hit anybody.
And Jamie's hit 17 batters this year. In 10 consecutive starts, he's hit a batter. They think that's a record.
Elias dates back to, what, 1970 with that record?
Yes, sir.
We are on our game tonight. Here is Vina. Next pitch to him. Ground ball right side, right to the second baseman. Mark Loretta stays down, makes the play over to 6-7 Richie Sexson. 1 up and 1 down, and that's how we start the game. Round the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Sexton at first, big target over there. Then Loretta, we talked about him in our pregame show. He is the second baseman, just 8 errors on the year. Third baseman, Louis Lopez. Jose Hernandez is at short. Jeff Jenkins in left. Devon White, no errors, but he's been injured for part of the season. He's in center, former Dodger. Burnitz in right. And Brown behind the plate. Here's Polanco, pops it into shallow left, coming on Jenkins, and he makes a basket catch for the second out.
And Danny, we said we'd know right away, but it's usually the couple innings, and one of the things is Wright will walk an awful lot of batters. So hopefully it's one of those days. He is trying to even his record. You see the 85 walks and 111 strikeouts and 169 plus innings. He has allowed a little more than 69 hits, though.
Jamie Wright, part of our Chrysler Jeep matchup. We're making him a little better than he might be.
It's 169 hits.
Here's J.D. Drew. 5 for his last 10. Coming off a very good brief homestand back at Busch Stadium. Against the Dodgers, Pujols on deck. There's a strike. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 out and nobody on, and we're just underway here in the first.
Well, those numbers sure look good, especially that career high 62 RBIs.
Out straight back, 1 and 2.
Missing a lot of time due to injury is JD, but his numbers speak for themselves.
What's the biggest improvement you've seen with JD this season? And he's made a lot of them.
He's made a lot of them. Still, he's learning how to control the strike zone. They still try to pitch him with the off-speed pitches, but when he gets a fastball, he knows what to do with it, and he's making significant progress on trying to lay off the bad off-speed pitches and swing at the strikes.
The 1-2 pitch to JD. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. First strikeout on the night for Jamie Wright in a 1-2-3 inning. Well, Davey Lopes has had a tough year. His club is 63 and 80. We'll take a look at his lineup when we come back in the bottom of the first. Davey Lopes is in his second season at the helm with the Milwaukee Brewers, and this year 63 and 80. His lineup strikes out an awful lot, over 1,200 times this season. Devon White will lead it off, followed by Loretta, Jenkins, Sexton, Burnitz, Hernandez, Lopez, Brown, and Wright. Darryl Kile is on the mound for St. Louis.
Well, he's pitching on 7 days rest. He's lost his last 3 games. A strikeout pitcher. He'll go over 200 strikeouts tonight, and he's facing the strikeout lineup.
Around the horn is brought to you by Dobbs, and here's a look at the Cards defense behind Mr. Kile. Mark McGwire's at first base. Vigna is at second. Placido Polanco is at third. Renteria at short. The outfield has Pujols in left. Gold Glover Jim Edmonds in center. A much improved J.D. Drew in the outfield and right field. And another Gold Glover, Mike Matheny, behind the plate. Our Dobbs defense. First pitch is strike to Devon White, the switch hitter. White is hitting .277. Was traded for Marquise Grissom. Next pitch by Kile is a ball out and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are the numbers on the switch hitter White.
2 center fielders exchanged teams, and I think both teams benefited from it.
One thing about Grissom, he was hitting around that 225, 230 mark, but the power numbers have been way up for him. Historically, not that high.
Yeah, 20 home runs for him. But I think he was telling me that he's healthy, and then Devon White, health is an issue with him too throughout his career.
In the hole here with a ball and 2 strikes. He's missed some time this year as well. Up the middle, Renteria couldn't make the play, and it's a base hit on a 1-2 pitch. He jammed him out, but good job of hitting there by Devon White.
Devon gets this ball, and it's a big sweeping breaking ball. Kind of get it on the hands and just muscles it. A line drive beyond the reach of Renteria, and they have something going. But the big thing about these Milwaukee Brewers is they strike out an incredible amount of time. They're going to set a major league record for strikeouts, and they're going to be, right now, they are the only team in the history of the game, if it continues, that will have more strikeouts than hits.
That is unbelievable. And they're going to shatter the old mark. Look at our Chrysler Jeep starters, and here's Darryl Kile and his numbers this season at start number 30 for St. Louis.
He needs 3 1/3 innings for the 200 mark for the 5th time in his career.
Runner not going, and the pitch is swung on into center. Edmonds can't make the play, even though he's playing very shallow. And the first 2 men have reached with base hits. Let's turn to our Hyundai Key matchup, and these 2 teams head-to-head. And so far, the Milwaukee Brewers have had the best of the matchup so far this season. And this is game 1 of a 4-game set here at Miller Park. The Cardinals are 4-6 in this head-to-head matchup. The batting average in favor of the Brewers, runs in favor of the Brewers, home runs, and ERA better than St. Louis. So Brewers have beaten up on the Cardinals a little bit this season, but certainly Darryl Kile would like to change that starting tonight.
One thing people are going to remember is what they do in the next 7 games. 4 here and 3 more at Busch Stadium next week.
You would figure, Al, on paper, looking at it right now, with 20 games left and with the teams that the Cardinals are going to face, the Brewers 7 times, Pittsburgh is in there. As this is shot in the deep left, Pujols is there though. White was about halfway between second and third. He retreats back to the bag, and it's first and second with 1 out. You would figure that on paper the Cardinals would have the best chance, but as Tony La Russa was saying, this is like the World Series of postseason play for teams like Milwaukee and Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. When you play and you're a club like Milwaukee, who thought there would be a factor in the Central Division, the pitching has been decimated. They've had numerous injuries, and really Davey Lopes doesn't have the team that he thought he would have, or the pitching staff. But this is their time to shine. You can sit there and feel good about your season if you can knock off the contending teams.
They did take one against Houston over the weekend,
where they won 2 out of 4.
right?
So that they helped the Cardinals.
Big swing and a miss by Sexton, and this is one of those guys that strikes out an awful lot. Sexton 158 times. We just saw Jenkins, he struck out 134, and still yet to come is Hernandez, 164 strikeouts.
And they currently, with the 2 hits this inning, have 1,213 hits. Now here's a 7-time batting champion, remember the 3,000 hit club, a guy that Hernandez and Sexton have this year have struck out more times than Rod Carew did his last 7 seasons playing. This team is going to strike out more times than Rod Carew did in his career, and they won't listen to him. He is one of the soundest, most fundamental coaches, batting coaches with phenomenal theories, but today's players don't listen to the experts.
You're not going to listen to him, and you're waiting for a guy with a track record. Give me one better than that.
Well, you know, first of all, they play the game, and they compensate people for the home run.
1-2 pitch by Kile, swung on and pulled foul. This guy hits for power, but you pointed out a number of times, a lot of holes in his swing.
Well, the one thing that they feel is that you get ahead of him, and then you got to throw the ball around the plate, not in the strike zone, and let him get himself out.
Getting 263 on the year, 36 homers, 102 RBIs. So a pretty good season here for Sexton. The cleanup man for Milwaukee came over in a trade from Cleveland.
One of those great young Cleveland players that just know place to play. And he's been very hot in the second half.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rip left side. Polanco knocks it down, throws to first, and what a play. Now, I don't know if he took that off the forearm or the face, but boy, oh boy, what a play by Polanco. Maybe the chin.
I'll tell you one thing, but that is a play by a championship caliber player that realizes, hey, I've got to do whatever. Up around the elbow on the forearm, and that ball was scorched. But those are the things. You've got to sacrifice your body when you're in a pennant race, and Polanco does it right there.
That's a heck of a play.
Absolutely. He's going to feel it a little bit, but he won a gold star from his teammates.
So with 2 down, here's Burnitz, another free swinger, hitting from the left side.
And he's really been struggling of late, so keep it that way.
Hitting .245, and he struggles here. He'll strand 2 as McGwire flips to Kile, and the Cards and Kile get out of the inning after back-to-back singles to start it. We're through 1 inning of play, no score between the Cards and Brewers. This day in Cardinal history is brought to you by Schnucks. September 10th of 1974. Lou Brock ties and then breaks the Major League single-season stolen base record with 104 and 105. He wound up with 118 back in 1974. One of the greats, Hall of Famer Lou Brock, and part of our This Day in Baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. Here's Pujols.
Where were you that night? Were you born?
I was born.
But you don't remember much.
I don't remember a thing.
I'll tell you what, that was a fun evening. Tim McCarver said it best. He said that was equivalent to Lou Brock breaking the stolen base record at age 35 was equivalent to a 10-year-old thoroughbred winning the Kentucky Derby. And then the time they had a ceremony during the game, with all the interviews and everything afterwards, we got into New York at 5 a.m. First game in New York, 25 innings long.
Did Brock play?
I think he did. 25 innings.
I remember McGwire breaking the mark in '98 and then heading off to Cincinnati and just taking the next night off.
Yeah.
He was.
Well, that's the modern player. That's the modern player.
It's always the modern player's fault.
Danny, we had 3 nights in succession where we got to the hotel at 5 a.m. As a team, folks, as a team.
Now sometimes, preface that, but sometimes that might be better, right? Sometimes you play well like that.
Well, we always proved that we were the best team after midnight.
You had some characters on that team that would hold that true, I think, including my partner. Pujols retired for out 1 here in the 2nd inning. Speedy recovery, by the way, to Red Kurtz, who is recovering from surgery back home today in St. Louis at St. Joseph's. And Red, we hope you have a speedy recovery, and he's a huge Cardinal fan.
Well, let's isolate. You see, he got hit right at the elbow, and you know that had to sting. But boy, tough player. He comes in here, and Barry Weinberg kind of tries to get some attention. He's just trying to flex it and going, I'm tough. I'm an old school guy. I could have played with those guys in Brock's era.
Well, you're on that old school kick tonight. Polanco, by the way, just went to the clubhouse with Brad Henderson, another one of the Cardinals' fine trainers on staff here tonight. Here's Jim Edmonds.
His numbers are starting to look pretty good for Jimmy.
26 home runs and 94 RBIs.
He semi-struggled in the Dodger series. He was 2 for 11, but both those hits were home runs, including the slam of yesterday.
Two balls and a strike on Jim Edmonds, with Mark McGwire on deck.
By the way, Jim Edmonds, in some ways, thinks of Rod Carew as his daddy or hitting guru. I mean, he was truly a Carew disciple.
You talked to Rod about Edmonds and his days in Anaheim?
Yeah, remember when we were first in here, first trip in, he had that real hot streak, and then he started struggling. And I talked to Rod about some of the things that was going on. I told him what I observed, and then after the first game, he came back and he told me what he thought was going on and what he had to do to correct it. And a lot of it had to, where he said he has to stay on the ball, drive it to left field, and as he gets his stroke back, he can eventually start taking it to center. But we also know that he couldn't pull off the pitches. That's what he was doing, trying to favor the shoulder.
Full count on Edmonds, and a walk. first base runner on the night for St. Louis.
See, that is one of the signs to look for with Jamie Wright.
Here's Mark McGwire. He'll step in. And coming up after the game tonight, after the final out, as a matter of fact, well, the Midwest Sports Report at 10. Fox Focus on Alan Bennis. What a big day for him. What a big weekend against the LA Dodgers. Jeff Gordon of the Post-Dispatch will sound off, and a Rams notebook after their overtime victory in Philadelphia yesterday. Here's Mark McGwire spinning away from that breaking ball. In many ways, this guy kind of holds the cards, so to speak. You think, Al, even though the average is at 187, if he gets hot for 3 weeks, and if Mark McGwire gets hot, that means 5 to 10 home runs. That means W's. Popped up and out of play.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good observation. You know, right now he is really struggling, and you hate to say it, but sometimes you almost feel like he's giving in to his frustrations. Career numbers here at Milwaukee, the power numbers are outstanding, but Mark McGwire should get energized in a pennant race.
1-1 pitch. To me, who cares what he hits average-wise? What he gives you is a bonus from here on in.
It's so far down, you don't worry about it. You accept the fact that it's not, you're going to have a terrible average, but what he does from this point forward is going to propel his team if it's positive.
McGwire, deep drive, center field. That looks pretty positive. White looking up, and a monster bomb for Mark McGwire. Wow. 2-0 St. Louis. That was crushed.
That was Mark McGwire-esque. We have not seen him drive a ball or hit it that far in how long. He's had home runs. He's had 23 previous, but very few have been the majestic, the monster blast that just carries forever. A pitch down and in. That's his stroke right here, folks, where he gets the arms extended, but he gets that and he lifts off, and I think this goes off the scoreboard. Oh, what you're seeing, you're going to see the carom after it hit above there on the scoreboard.
In all the times that we have been here and watching batting practice, I've yet to see one go that far. Wow. Here's Renteria and a ground ball to second. 2 away. So Mark McGwire with his 35th home run against the Brewers.
Well, watch this, and this was going to be great camera work. Down and in, he gets that full extension. Now watch the height and watch where it hits. There it is. 578. Frank Robinson. Boy, how about if he could overtake Frank Robinson this season?
Yep.
That would be a good sign for the Redbirds down the stretch.
Got that right. Here's Mike Matheny. So McGwire with home run number 24 this year. 2 runs shy. Now, you talked about it. Important to jump out against these teams and score first, and the Cardinals have done that.
You got to do it. I mean, you're not trying to take anything away from the Milwaukee Brewers. They've had a lot of injuries here, especially their pitching staff. But when you can jump out and get ahead of a team that's trying to finish their schedule, they'll play you tough as long as they're even with you or ahead of you. But if you get on top of them, they start sagging the shoulders and the head goes down.
That one is up there with the Enron Field home run that he hit earlier this year. 50 and 22 in scoring first the Cards this season.
And you just get that killer instinct and you just keep on piling on.
0-2 on Mike Matheny. Little chopper hit towards short. This right-hander will induce a lot of ground balls, and that's what he does on the 3 outs here. But Mark McGwire with a fly ball and a real deep one. 2-0 St. Louis. What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. WB11 tomorrow night. Note it at 7 on Channel 11 and the Cardinal Television Network. How about the great camera work here of this home run off the bat of Mark McGwire? 2-run shot. The Cardinals lead it 2-0. And again, great job by our crew here in Milwaukee following the baseball. And I'm sure our guys have not followed one that long all season long.
They had a little fun with that. Must have been practicing with some golf outings or something.
Man. You look at the numbers, and here's a shot right back at Darryl Kile, reminiscent of the one he took off the face in Chicago. And it's a base hit for Hernandez and the third base hit tonight for Milwaukee. You look at the numbers for Mark McGwire, 24 home runs and 51 RBIs. And the average obviously not what you want, but still the power numbers not that bad for all the time that he's missed.
So a 257 at bats, his 48th hit. 48 hits, 24 home runs.
Pretty good ratio there.
Yeah, the RBIs are okay too. More RBIs than hits.
Here's Lopez with Polanco in on the grass, and the first pitch, a fastball and a strike.
You know, Cardinal pitchers have really had trouble with Loretta and Hernandez, and then they say Luis Lopez has been really swinging a hot bat of late.
Just 20 games left, including tonight's action. 11 of those are on the road. 1-1. Remember, these two teams have 7 meetings between them, and they don't like each other at all. Last time Darryl Kile was out, he had a lead against the LA Dodgers. That was against Kevin Brown, but couldn't hold it. Breaking ball lifted into left center. Edmonds coming on and makes the play very easily. 1 out.
Had him out in front on it, hitting on your front foot. Hey, who in the heck is this Brown guy?
Not the Kevin Brown.
Well, I asked Mark Sweeney, I said, who's Kevin Brown? He said, well, he's Kevin Brown without the sinker. This guy spent a little time with Toronto, and he has 4 hits this year. And he has 6 hits, and 4 of them are home runs. Setting a career high. He had 2 a couple years ago in the big leagues.
8 RBIs.
Slider, bat speed. So he kind of gets the ball, likes the ball out away from him. But their catchers are all hurt. Blanco may be finished for the season. So Kevin Brown getting a chance to play a little bit.
They've had a lot of injuries. Tyler Houston, Hammonds, Casanova, Belliard. Big breaking ball taken for a ball, 2-0. Well, something that takes a while sometimes to develop for Kyle is that breaking ball, and he doesn't have a sharp one yet tonight. And I say yet because it'll take him a few innings sometimes, Al, to get it going, but when he does, it's as good as anybody's.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've got to keep on using it, and eventually you wear down. And as you do so, all of a sudden you start finding the release point on it. You know, the players are creatures of habit, used to pitching on every 5th day, and he's pitching with 7 days rest. And you know, sometimes you're overly strong, so your breaking ball suffers for it.
3-0 here on Lopez, and a strike, a fastball. Or rather on Brown, 3 balls and a strike. Jamie Wright on deck.
This is where you make this guy a dangerous hitter, because he's not a real good fastball hitter. He's got, I'd say, slider bat speed. Can't catch up to a good fastball, but they're also cripples hitters. Wow.
There's a couple pitches there. First of all, the breaking ball that made it 3-0 looked awfully good, and then that pitch right there. Instead, it's a walk. Tim Cheetah behind the plate.
You see it was a little bit off the plate, and so his first walk.
Not much action in the National League tonight. This game and then Cincinnati at Chicago. Chris Rietsma, big right-hander, making the start for Cincinnati, and John Lieber 17-6 for the Cubs.
Wright's not a bad hitting pitcher.
Not at all. 12 for 58, lays down a bunt but pulled foul. hitting .207 on the year.
Darryl and Jamie Wright were both in the Colorado organization at the same time.
Colorado now using a 6-man rotation down the stretch for Buddy Bell's club. After they picked up Scott Ellerton in that Estacio deal, he's healthy now, and they want to see what he can do.
Yeah, they had 5 going, and they were going pretty good. And then with Ellerton healthy, they want to go to 6.
Wright squares again and bunts it foul. 0-2. You mentioned how the Brewers took 2 of 4. Houston bats have really gone cold. Berkman is not hitting all that well. Biggio and Bagwell have struggled now in the last week or so. Moises Alou is right. He's something like 1 for his last 27 or 28.
That's something I think people would have thought maybe their pitching would fail them, but not their offense.
1-2.
Darryl also this year developed a lot of confidence in his changeup, which he throws like a split finger pitch. And that is something that on a day like today where he really hasn't got the curveball working yet, still allows him to have another weapon.
Wright squares again. The 1-2 pitch pulled back and fouled away. Tony La Russa's not been shy in trying that little slug bunt. Pulling the bunt back and taking a swing, and why not with a guy that can handle the bat, Jamie Wright.
Then you'll wonder if with 2 strikes if they put the bunt back in order.
McGwire in along with Polanco at third. He attempted and strikes out. Strikeout number 1 on the night for Darryl.
Big difference when you're pitching ahead in the count and when you're behind. 2 strikes and only 1 ball, you can throw the ball around the plate but not in the strike zone and get guys to get themselves out.
There you see when Kile is ahead in the count what opponents do. And when he trails, they have had success. Here's Devon White, switch hitter from the left side, hitting .273.
It's a strike and
I think
ball or whatever.
That was tipped. Everybody pretty much stopped, including our home plate umpire for the most part. Looked like it hit his foot.
No, I think it hit right in front of it, and then it spun away, so a wild pitch.
So the runners move up in scoring position for the 2nd inning in a row. It's 2nd and 3rd, and a chance here for White, who has 44 RBIs.
Wow. Look at
what a breaking
you can
ball.
see, but look at how hard they're swinging. Let's go back to the wild pitch. Now watch when it hits. See Matheny's weight shift, and look at that ball just take a right turn. Now watch the swing on this breaking ball. That's how you strike out a major league record amount.
This is a leadoff man, a guy that's supposed to put the ball in play.
And Devon has 13 home runs, but still, you've got to have a little bit of control with your swing.
He's in the hole with a ball, then 2 strikes. Singled on a 1-2 pitch. His first time up, he's 1 for 1. Ooh, good pitch there. 28% of the time when he misses.
Just have him do it one more time. This at bat.
Two and 2 the count. 2nd and 3rd. We'll do it again. On a perfect night for baseball here in Milwaukee.
You know, we talked about how many strikeouts so many times, but you see, look at the big stride, still down on the knob. I mean, that's not the way that Rod Carew would try to teach somebody to swing with 2 strikes.
Mark Loretta on deck. if White can extend the inning. The 2-2 pitch. He went around, and a strikeout for Kile. And again, the Brewers strand second and third. They've stranded 4 on the night. And for Darryl, that's his second strikeout. We're through 2 innings, and behind Mark McGwire's 24th home run, it's 2-0 St. Louis. Top of the third here in Milwaukee, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. Well, this fall, baseball's postseason unfolds on Fox. First 8 of baseball's best battle it out in the American and National League Division Series on both Fox and Fox Family. Then follow the drama of the ALCS and the NLCS, all the way to the crowning of the 2001 World Series champion. As baseball's postseason airs exclusively and only on Fox Family channels. Kyle pops to right. 1 away, and that's how we begin here in the third. Going to bring in Fernando Vina. Take a look at our Casino Queen leaderboard. It involves that man, our leadoff man, Fernando Vina of the St. Louis Cardinals. We're talking about NL leaders in hits, and Vina at 173. If you break it down even further, he has 131 singles, 8 triples. And there you saw the hits, and he looks at a breaking ball for a strike.
Better get a hit here because Pujols could catch it. Isn't that nice? Vina came in bang 307. Polanco 315. Drew 328. Pujols 332.
0-2 on Fernando. We always comment about how Fernando's up there as a leadoff man, kind of a free swinger, but when a guy puts the ball in play as much as he does, you can't really argue with it.
Yeah, it's one of those oddities that for a guy that is a leadoff hitter, he has the distinction of having one of the fewest pitches seen per at bat in the National League.
But rarely strikes out. Big day yesterday with 4 hits. Jump started the Redbirds in that big victory, 8-1 over the Dodgers. It's 2-2 on Fernando.
You sure like that attitude that Fernando has, that Tony's trying to rest some of his regulars, and whenever he kind of goes to Fernando, he goes, oh no, this is the time, I gotta play, you gotta heat it up, this is the money games.
Jose Oquendo had to talk Tony La Russa out of playing Vina on Saturday. There's the strikeout rate for Fernando. Not very often does it happen. Full count. With Polanco on deck, the Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. Mark McGwire, a 2-run shot last inning.
It's a guy that will walk you too.
Vina right back to the pitcher. Good play by Wright. 2 outs.
He's got a very good sinking fastball. Then he has a very good changeup and curveball. And probably his 4th pitch is the slider.
Let's see how Polanco can swing the bat. He was drilled on the elbow, his left elbow, on a hot shot by Sexton, but he made a heck of a play at third to get him and saved at least a run. But you wonder how much that elbow has swelled in the last maybe 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The 0-1 pitch taken high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. One of the steadiest players in all of baseball.
Talking with Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach for the Brewers, and he was paying some huge compliments to Polanco and just his tenacity and the way he plays the game. He's gained a lot of respect for Davey Lokes' staff.
This time last year, we were wondering if Polanco could be that everyday player, and he's really shown that he can.
You saw Bob Apodaca there, the pitching coach, who may be one of the fall guys. I hear he will be replaced. So will Rod Carew. I don't know why. And it's kind of strange for Davey Lopes to even make a statement that if Dave Stewart, the assistant GM of Toronto, doesn't get a job,
he wants him as a pitching coach.
He wants him as a pitching coach. Well, you still got one, Davey. You know, you got to fight for your guy before you let somebody fire him.
Stewart is going hard after a GM job. Gord Ash apparently is on the way out in Toronto, and he thinks that he should be the guy in line for that job. And he said, well, one of the things that really gets to me is that everybody says I don't have experience. He says, what does 16 years in the majors count for?
And the last 7 years in the front office.
Right.
But sometimes the powers to be of baseball today never played the game, and they don't want players in those high positions. They might know something about the game.
Chop foul, 2-2 on Polanco with 2 outs and nobody on.
It's not that many general managers played the game anymore. But that is a job that has become 24 hours a day and 365 days a year.
The 2-2. Boy, Polanco's having a nice at bat here. He's fouled off some good pitches.
Think about it. If you put Vigne's a bat and Polanco's a bat now, they've made Jamie Wright work this inning.
This is when he'll come back and hit a bullet somewhere.
Here's the general manager, Dean Taylor of the Brewers.
Chop foul again. 9 pitches already in this at bat against Polanco.
And there's some people that believe that if Davey Lopes' job's in jeopardy, Dean Taylor may scoop up Jimmy Williams. They were together in Atlanta as Taylor was an assistant to Sherholtz and Jimmy Williams was a coach for Bobby Cox.
The 2-2 pitch. Caught him on the inside corner. Polanco didn't like it at all. Slams his bat, slams his helmet. 2-0 St. Louis. Well, if you'd like to get the latest Cardinals merchandise, log on to STLCardinals.com, the official source for Cardinals stuff. STLCardinals.com. Connect with it.
A rare outburst from Polanco, and you see, if you be the judge, well, the only one that is the arbitrator is Tim Cheetah back behind the plate. He went to the same high school as Paul Molitor. St. Paul, was it Crichton?
I believe so.
But I think saw the reason why Polanco didn't like that call.
That's the first time I can remember him really showing any emotion towards an umpire.
No, but kind of slammed the helmet down, dropped the batting gloves right outside the batter's box, and that was a better pitch there than the one to Polanco.
About to say the same thing. Here's Mark Loretta to lead things off here in the third for the Brewers. They trail 2-0. Mark McGwire 2-run home run to dead center off the scoreboard. And have we gotten a measurement yet on that one?
No.
If we were in Cincinnati, it would be 302 feet.
That's right, with the center field wall at 400. Went off the Miller time sign.
1-2 pitch by Kile. Pulled foul. It's Loretta, then Jenkins and Sexton. 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup.
You know, Loretta really has hurt the Cardinals. Not going to do it with a long ball, but just continually getting base hits and setting up for the big guys behind him. He and Hernandez have gotten a lot of big hits.
Third inning, 1-1 between the Cubs and Reds. That's at Wrigley Field. Good play by Renteria to his left. We've been talking about money players and guys that step it up down the stretch, and this is one of them. Edgar Renteria. He just seems like he has an extra step out there, both offensively and in particular I see it in the defense.
Yeah, most definitely. This was not that easy of a play. The ball was hit very hard. It stays down on him, kind of gets it right off the ground as he's moving to his left. Watch how these infielders, even on a ball like that, they'll kind of step on second base and practice their double play pitch.
Right. There's Jenkins, who flied to left on the first pitch he saw with first and second, and nobody out in the first inning, and the Brewers could not capitalize. Did not move the runners over and didn't drive them in. There's a drive into left center. Edmonds plays the carom perfectly, gets it back in quickly. That's a nice play by Jim Edmonds. If he goes after that ball, he's probably still chasing it. Jenkins winds up at third.
Well, especially, Danny, when you think about it, there's a little bit of an odd angle out there, and even the carom kind of started to get away from him, but he played it perfectly. Out away from him, kind of off the end of the bat. Jimmy knows he can't catch it, so he's angling for the carom, and look at how it goes back into that area there. So he plays it like a Gold Glover, which he is.
That was a nice play. All 4 hits have been to center. And here's Sexson. First pitch, a ball from Darryl Kile. Kile in his Cardinal career is 33 and 19 and an ERA just under 4. 63 games as a member of the Redbirds. There's a shot down the left field line, pulled foul.
Richie Sexson was hit on the elbow a week or 10 days ago, and he's struggled since that time. And there you see Mike Matheny going out and talking to him. Just really slowed his arm angle down on that off-speed pitch. And it's a good thing he had the free swinger way out in front.
1 ball, 1 strike. Speaking of shots off the elbow, that's what Sexson did to Polanco his first time up. He's 0 for 5. The Brewers are, with runners in scoring position, and Sexson was part of that stat. Polanco made a real nice play to make sure the Brewers didn't jump out to the early lead. That's a good breaking ball, 1 and 2.
Sexson doesn't like this one. He's not winning any favorites from this. He's 6'7". You can't say it was too high, and it definitely was high enough.
Yep.
Good breaking ball, and almost in a dangerous area. I think now Tim Cheetah turned towards the Cardinal dugout, but I think it was the third base coach. And of course, Davey Lopes and Tony La Russa have gotten into it this year too.
Kyle drops down, first time he's done that tonight, and gets Sexson to chase. Hey Richie, that's the second out.
It's only a second out now. Okay, I knew it all the time.
Strikes out, rips off his batting gloves, and for Darryl Kile, that's the 3rd strikeout on the night.
But that's what you want to do. You get ahead of him, and then you feature a lot of breaking balls, but you don't make them strikes. He thought it was 3 outs, so he's starting to go to the field.
We've seen guys slamming helmets and throwing bats. I'm Tim Cheetah, I'm throwing them out. Here's Burnett's.
Bob Watson, who helps Frank Robinson, along with other duties for Major League Baseball with a disciplinary action. He was in St. Louis, and I said, Bob, why are you here? I said, oh, the owners' meetings. He goes, nope. You 2 clubs have had a little trouble in the past, and so I'm here to make sure to see things firsthand before we discipline anybody.
Remember last time it was the benches were on the field.
Right. Gary Allenson, the third base coach. See where he is. He's almost between the Cardinal dugout and home plate.
That's where he's at right now. Ground ball on a base hit right side. Drew gets it. Comes up gunning. Matheny. He got him. What a throw by J.D. And that's the third and final out here in the third. J.D. Drew not only improved at the plate, but also in the field. A strong, accurate throw to the plate. The Gold Glover blocking the plate. 2-0 St. Louis.
Well, welcome back. The Cardinals have a 2-0 lead thanks to Mark McGwire's 24th home run, 2-run shot. J.D. makes a sensational throw, and look at Matheny. But a couple things happened in this situation. Blocked home plate, but when Matheny, or when Kile, the ball was hit to the right side, he first is going to break to first base. That made him come into home plate on the first base side of the bag, and he runs into the umpire. Instead of being on the other side, he runs into the umpire, but Cheetah has enough time to recover. He's in good position. The left hand of the base runner, Jenkins, looked like it touched home plate ahead of the tag, but it was a bang play, and the Cardinals got the break.
3-1 on J.D. Drew. One of the things I was going to say, Al, before was that I asked you what was the biggest improvement out of J.D., and you talked about his adjustments with off-speed pitches. To me, something that's overlooked is the strength of his arm, and number two, the accuracy of it. This is the best we've seen him play defense in his entire career.
Because remember, we always heard he had a great arm, but we never saw it. He threw every ball right into the dirt.
Yeah.
But this year, he is electric with it.
The 3-2 pitch ripped into right for a base hit. J.D. Drew has the second hit on the night for St. Louis. The other, as Al told you, Mark McGwire's 2-run home run.
Do something good, we'll give you an action photo.
Well, J.D. has done it, Al. As AMC Theaters action photo night, J.D. Drew will be featured there. September 17th against these Brewers, 7:10. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission. That J.D. Drew photo night coming up.
Don't forget the free popcorn from AMC.
I wouldn't forget.
Only fresh popcorn in St. Louis.
We got it in
fresh
there.
Popped.
Here's Albert Pujols with a man at first. Drew is off and running. Pujols hit and run done to perfection. Is there anything he can't do?
And I'm telling you what, for whatever reason, it looked like Burnitz never reacted. And if there weren't nobody out, I could almost conceive of a runner scoring from first base on that little fly.
J.D. was running hard, and Jose Oquendo held him up. With Jim Edmonds and Mark McGwire and Renteria coming up, and this is the good and bad, the good versus the bad. Albert Pujols, what a year he has had.
Well, I can't conceive of any way that he is not the player, the rookie of the year. Oswalt has got 14 wins, 14-2 for Houston. Obviously, he should be the rookie pitcher of the year, but a position player has been here all year, scores a lot higher over a pitcher that's been here for 2/3 of the season.
Here's Jim Edmonds with still nobody out. Tony La Russa had said before the game, Al, that he wanted to hit and run, and he was even contemplating hitting and running with Mark McGwire at the plate, something he hasn't done for 2 or 3 years against this pitcher, Jamie Wright. One of the reasons why is because he does get so many ground balls. The hit and run done to perfection by Albert Pujols, and now it's first and third with Drew at third base, and Edmonds looks at another ball. It's 2-0.
So this is the part where you be very selective as a hitter. You got a young pitcher out there. He's got a history of doing some things, letting his emotions getting away with him. So he'll walk a lot of batters. He hits a lot of batters. Don't give in to him. Jamie Wright should be much better than his record indicates.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Edmonds. Breaking ball and a strike. Edmonds parked his third career grand slam yesterday. 418-foot blast of the Chano Park. He's homered in 7 of his last 14 games. 12 home runs. 38 RBIs in his last 30 contests. Ooh, right on that pitch, but fouled it back 2-2. We talk about the great year that Edmonds had, an MVP type year. Last season, 108 RBIs. He's got a chance to get right back there this year.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I would not be surprised if he doesn't set a new career high in RBIs. And he had that 108 last year with 42 bombs. He won't get there. But I could see him continuing this hot hitting and setting a new RBI record for himself.
2-2 the count with McGwire, who has already homered on deck. Edmonds, a shot into center. 3-0 St. Louis. Pujols around second. He'll trot over to third. Drew scores the third run on the night. Another RBI for Edmonds, number 95. He already has a run scored as well. First and third. Nobody out. Here's Mark McGwire. Let's turn to our Affleck trivia question. Who owns the Cardinals record for the most extra base hits in 3 straight games? Here's Mark McGwire. Could it be him? Back-to-back-to-back base hits.
That's a good question.
5 hits on the night now for St. Louis. McGwire already has a towering home run here tonight. Spins away from a breaking ball. Let's go back to the Jim Edmonds RBI to make it 3-0 Redbirds.
Kind of down and in, back up the middle. Good piece of hitting right there.
2-0. Mark McGwire sitting now on 24 home runs. 2-1. And here is number 24, second inning, and he just crushed this pitch.
Oh, almost to the top of the tee out there on the scoreboard.
First and third, nobody out. The 2-1 pitch. Taken high and away. 3-1 on Mark McGwire. Renteria on deck. The next to Big Mac. Second time he's been aboard. The first 4 men in this inning have reached, and now the base is loaded for Renteria. Walk number 2 on the night.
Bob Apodaca going to come out and talk to Jamie Wright. Now this is something that Bob told me. This is a very talented young man, and he should be more advanced as a pitcher than he is. He's still trying to find that, kind of get over the top. Just 64 pitches, 39 of which are strikes.
Let's go back to the pitching profile for this young right-hander, Jamie Wright.
You know, kind of early, and here, 2-run home run in the 4th. He's got the bases loaded. Another run in here in the 4th inning. So he's a creature of his emotions. Sometimes he'll let them get away, but when he does have it working, he can go long into a game and he can throw a shutout at you. He has 1 complete game shutout, and he had 8 shutout innings against the Cardinals in July the 3rd.
Renteria, first pitch, ground ball left side. Hernandez only play to second. A run will score, and it's 4-0 Redbirds. Force out at second. Matheny will step to the plate. The first and third and just 1 out. Pujols crosses the plate. The 4th run for St. Louis. So Drew and Pujols have scored in this inning, and Edmonds came around on the McGwire home run back in the 2nd.
And that little grounder kind of found enough of a hole that they could only get 1, but that is something else in today's baseball. Guys just really don't realize how many easy ground RBIs are out there that you can get without getting a base hit.
That's a good example right there.
A lot of times you got runners at second or got a runner at third just hitting the ball the right side.
Here's Matheny. 4-0 Cardinals. Jamie Wright was 7-9 last year with Milwaukee. Came over in a trade from Colorado along with Henry Blanco and Jimmy Haynes. They came from the Oakland A's back in 1999. Matheny is shot into left. That's a base hit. 1 run scores. Renteria on second. He'll stop at third, and a big hit there for Mike Matheny, his 38th RBI on the year, and it's 5-0 St. Louis. 4 base hits in this inning.
Well, Mike Matheny's been struggling, but you know, he got a home run yesterday, got a big RBI double on Saturday, and he gets a hanger right here, and he knew what to do with it. Hits it hard, hits it down in the left field corner. The run comes in. You still have runners at the corners for Kile, and this probably, depending on what Kile does, could be the last batter he faces.
Right-hander throwing in the Brewers bullpen. Kile squares with Renteria at third, Matheny at first, and he gets down a beauty. Only play is to first. Takes his time, and there's 2 outs. So Darryl Kile does his job. A 5-0 St. Louis lead. The Cardinals scored 2 in the second. They've scored 3 here in the fourth, and a 2-out hit would put Jamie Wright to the bench.
Good sacrifice bunt. You bunt it right back at the pitcher if you deaden it this perfectly. Only play he has to first. It's Mike Buddy warming up in the bullpen.
Second and third with 2 away, and here's Vina, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He's the 8th man to come to the plate this inning.
So we're talking about you've got to get on top and then just keep on putting them away. And a knockout blow would be nice right now.
Cubs have jumped out to a big lead in the third inning. At Wrigley, it's 5-1 over Cincinnati.
We're ahead of the Cubs, and if we win our games, they can't catch us.
1-1 pitch coming to Vina. 1-2. Fernando didn't like that call at all. The 1-2. Two outs, 2 on, and a 2-2 count on Vina. Watch out. Stays 2-2. We saw a shot of Woody Williams, and he's coming off a fantastic road trip, 2 complete games.
You would have thought it.
There's Woody Williams, yeah, Bud Smith.
How about Matt Morris was the worst in that trio out there. He only pitched 7 shutout innings.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Yeah, 6 allowed 6 hits. Those 2 combined for 2 complete games and only 2 hits allowed.
We're doing the games out there, and Williams takes that perfect game in the 7th. We're thinking, you got to be kidding me.
And then he faced only 27, the minimum batters, in Bud Smith, the no-hitter. Woody Williams faces a minimum of 27 batters in his complete game. That was pitching.
Love how Bud Smith said Mr. Gwynn. Not Tony, but Mr. Gwynn. 2-2 pitch. Full count on Vina. Polanco on deck.
Apodaca was saying, he said, I saw a lot of that game. I'm excited to watch the kid pitch. And I said, well, he's really a super young man. He's not like most California kids. And he goes, well, what part's he from? I said, LA. And he goes, you're kidding me.
Vina walks. Polanco will be the 9th man to come to the plate in this inning, and the bases are loaded, and a chance to bust the game wide open here.
It's the kind of year it's been for Davey Lopes.
So we have seen 4 base hits this inning, 2 walks, and on the night the Cardinals have 5 runs and 5 hits.
Cardinals to this point have not stranded a runner, and the Brewers have stranded 5.
Last time up, Polanco saw 10 pitches and was called out on a brutal strike. There's a base hit into right. 1 run scores. Matheny's going to come around to score. 7-0 Redbirds. Polanco, the base hit that scores 2. RBIs 33 and 34, and that may be all for Jamie Wright. Drew will come up for the 2nd time tonight, and that's going to be it.
He kind of fights off a pitch, and inside out stroke into right field, just perfectly placed. 2 more come across the boards, giving him 34 RBIs. But those 2 out base hits, boy, those are killers. Jamie Wright knows it now.
So Jamie Wright cannot get out of the 4th inning. He goes 3 2/3. He'll exit 7-0 Redbirds. New pitcher in, it's Mike Buddy, the right-hander, who was picked up from the Yankees during the middle portion of last season. It's 7-0 Cardinals, and it's 1st and 3rd, and this is the 2nd time J.D. Drew has been up this inning. He has a base hit, 1 for 2 on the night, and a run scored. He also gunned down a man from right field at the plate. The first pitch to J.D. is taken for a strike, and he can't believe it. Buddy entered the 5th with runners on 1st and 2nd and 2 outs, and got Richard Hidalgo to ground out the inning. That was against Houston over the weekend. He made his debut against the Cardinals on July 4th here at Miller Park, and he struck out 2. A little over an inning of work. 1 save and 13 appearances against the NL Central this season. And he has Drew at 1 and 2. It's in the dirt and gets away. Another run will score. 8-0. Savina crosses the plate with the 8th run on the night.
Remember the pitch that Darryl Kile threw to a left-handed batter, hit right around the foot area and took that same type of turn. This one it hit the catcher ground on the left inside part of the knee, got through the wickets and back to the screen, and the Cardinals got their 8th run.
Polanco at 2nd, the 2-2 pitch. Drew taps it foul. We'll do it again. Mike Buddy pitched for the Yankees 1998. He was 4-1. In 99 he was 1-3. Split time between the Yankees and Columbus. And last year exclusively with Milwaukee in the major leagues. He also was with their Indianapolis club and the Yankees organization in Columbus. This is popped up into shallow left. Jenkins has it for the 3rd and final out. And Drew is 1 for 2 in this inning alone. What an inning it was. It started with J.D. and Albert Pujols. Jim Edmonds also got in the act. How about Mike Matheny? He did as well. 8-0 St. Louis. Hey, Cardinal fans, if you'd like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Redbirds home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game. P.O. Box 771-1192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. And good luck from Southwest Airlines. The crowds aren't quite as big as we saw when we first came through town here in Milwaukee. But you know they're going to stick around for the closing of this ceiling here in Milwaukee. They love it.
Oh.
You know they don't love the score right here. 8-0. Cardinals with the lead. Here is Hernandez, Lopez, and then Brown. You know, a couple big plays in this game. It is 8-0, but you think about J.D. Drew last inning, ending the inning by gunning a man down at the plate, kept it 2-0. And the call really on the replay, it looked like he was safe. It looked like he got his hand in there. Jenkins did, but he was called out. And that's a momentum boost for this team. And then they go ahead and play 6 in the top half.
And Blanco made a great play in the first inning to save at least a run. Look at that. There are 2 guys on. He knocks that ball down. Pressure situation. Here's J.D. finishing the 3rd inning by nailing a guy at the plate. And as you mentioned, then you can turn around and you get 6 runs to kind of open up the lead.
This is the kind of game that Darryl Kile needed. To be up 8-0, give him a little bit of comfort out there and get him back on track. 3 balls and a strike. There's a shot in the hole and into left. And a base hit for Jose Hernandez. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, another game where he just keeps on coming after people.
Let's take a look at our trivia question brought to you by Affleck. Cardinals record for the extra base hits.
Was it Red Changes?
Yes, it was. 9 in 1948. He's with us on this trip to Milwaukee. He played here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If you talk to the people, that was the Milwaukee Braves. He was here in 57, 58. They were a good ball club, but they couldn't win until Red got here.
Little looper. Albert Pujols coming on and has the play made for the first out here in the 4th. Red Shandy's a Hall of Famer.
You know, Red, talk with Red today. He sits there and goes, man, I just wonder what would have happened in his career. He's already a Hall of Famer. And he's managed the Cardinals longer than anybody in the history of the Cardinal organization. But he stated, I wonder what kind of career I would have had if I didn't have tuberculosis and if I didn't injure my left eye as a teenager. Think about it.
Yeah. You know, the amazing thing is that he'll go out and hit the golf ball 250 yards straight down the fairway every single time, and he's in his mid-70s. That's unbelievable. He just smokes a golf ball.
Well, you and I hit it 125.
125, and he's out there drawing it, and just drilling it. But we're really good now. Over Renteria for a base hit. 1st and 2nd, and 1 out. Base hit for Kevin Brown, the other Kevin Brown, and that's the 2nd time he's been on the base pass tonight.
Oh, he did throw a sinker out there.
Yeah. A sinking liner.
You know, Darryl Kile really has not had his good stuff. He's lost his last 3 starts. Cardinals scored him 6 runs in those 3 losses, and 8 here tonight.
Here's a pinch hitter, Angel Echevarria. He's pinch hitting for Mike Buddy, who took over for Jamie Wright. Let's see what Kyle does with Angel. First pitch, a strike. One ball, one strike on the pinch hitter.
Alan Lebrault is warming up, and we would assume will be the 3rd Brewer pitcher.
6-2 now. Chicago in the fourth with a lead over Cincinnati. About an hour away here from Milwaukee at Wrigley Field. First and second. Ball and 2 strikes on the pinch hitter. Swing and a miss. Got him. Angel strikes out.
For a strikeout for Darryl Kile, and he just blows a fastball right by him. Really wasn't even in the location he wanted, but he just overmatched Angel. Got that hitch in his swing and a lot of movement, and you do that and throw in mid-90s, the ball's by you.
Here's Devon White. 8-2 now. Cubs with the lead in the bottom of the fourth. Brown a 2-run home run.
Roosevelt, huh?
Yep. White tonight has a base hit. He also struck out. Kyle with 4 strikeouts. There he went around. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 for 2 on the night. The Cardinals in this series will have Woody Williams coming off 2 complete games, Dustin Hermanson and Bud Smith. One of the question marks for Tony La Russa was to see as to whether or not he was going to start Bud Smith on Thursday or give Alan Bennis that start, because Bud is now over 170 innings pitched, and that's the most that he has thrown in his professional career, and they want to be very careful about how much he throws, especially off that 134 pitch no-hitter. There's Bud Smith. 2-2 on Devon White.
Well, you sit there and you start one and you have the other one ready.
It's fun watching Allen the other day, wasn't it?
Yes. You know, you're so happy for Allen. Worked so hard to get back. And I talked to Pat Dobson, former 20-game winner, former pitching coach in the big leagues.
White is hit hard, and the bases are now loaded.
You saw the way Darryl cringed afterwards. That obviously was not what he was trying to do. But that is the 11th batter that Darryl has hit this year.
Looked like he had something in that back pocket and caught it. Dip can or maybe a batting gloves or something.
If it was Rico Cardi, it would have been his wallet. Rico Cardi used to carry his wallet in his hip pocket. He didn't trust anybody with his money. Something in that pocket absorbed some of the blow.
Bases loaded. Here's Loretta. Fly ball deep right field. Drew going back on the track and makes the play. Good job by JD to track that down, and the Milwaukee Brewers have stranded 8 on the night. Kyle and the Cards with a lead of 8-0. Top of the 5th, 8-0 Redbirds on 6 hits. McGwire is homered, and the Cardinals had a huge last inning in which they plated 6, and they lead at 8-0. Coming up next, it's the Midwest Sports Report. Rob King and Pat Paris. Fox Focus on Alan Bennis. Jeff Gordon will sound off from the Post-Dispatch and the Rams Notebook, following their big overtime victory yesterday afternoon in Philadelphia. Midwest Sports Report coming up after the game tonight. Here's Albert Pujols, and let's take a look at the in-game box. Cardinals have done well, to say the least. They lead at 8-0. Big blow by Mark McGwire. His 24th home run on the year. 2-run shot, and that got the Cardinals off and running.
Gotta get Albert an RBI or two. 1 to tie the rookie record, 2 to break it.
Ortiz, we're trying to figure out what way would the Cardinals win tonight. It's been with the bats. Offense has exploded. The pitching's been pretty good.
How you do it, you win it with all facets of the game. Numbers for Allen on the season: 25 home runs allowed.
Three and 2 on Albert Pujols. 8-2 Chicago. They're in the 4th inning at Wrigley Field. Strikeout of Pujols, and he just walks away. What do you think, Al? Was he trying to goat Tim Cheat into this?
Well, I think he was thinking he was going to get a breaking ball, and he got a fastball and tried to deke him a little bit because he gave up on the pitch. Guess wrong.
Alan Levrov is our pitcher. He was in their starting rotation for a while.
He made 19 starts.
6-9 on the year. ERA of 5.71. 1-0 against the Cards this year. He made his debut at Busch Stadium on May 30th. Last start came against Pittsburgh on September 4th. Edmonds, a ground ball to second. First time he has been off the base pass tonight. A walk, an RBI base hit, now the ground out to second. That'll bring in Mark McGwire. For one of the bobbleheads has been sold out, the other one is not. September 16th, the first 20,000 kids 15 and under get that Mark McGwire bobblehead. Then on the 18th, we'll do the first 20,000 fans 16 and over. 421-2400 for that bobblehead if you'd like to get those tickets and head on down to Busch Stadium.
And the kids bobblehead is the one that still has tickets available on the Sunday.
1 ball, 1 strike on Big Mac, who is homered here tonight. He's also walked. That home run, a 2-run shot. .578 home runs for Mark McGwire. Just over 6,100 at bats. 2-2. The home run, a monster McGwire-esque shot off the Miller Lite sign here at dead center field. Full count on Big Mac.
Well, will they challenge him?
Down 8-0. They do, and he strikes out. 2 strikeouts for Alan Levrov. We're through 4 1/2, and the Redbirds lead it 8-0. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Jenkins, Sexton, and Burnitz. The Brewers half of the 5th. Cardinals up 8-0. The first pitch, a strike from Darryl Kile. Let's go back to the McGwire bat and see if this was a strike or not on a 3-2 delivery.
3-2 delivery. Cry come inside to him. And close pitch. You thought it was. I thought it wasn't, but probably too close to take the 2 strikes.
Up 8-0.
Now
Tim
just
Cheat
get that
has had
pitch to Darryl Kile.
Tim Cheat has had that wide zone all over the place tonight.
Yeah, it's
Seen a lot of different looks on both sides. High fly ball off the bat of Jenkins. Pujols on the run and a foul ball.
Yeah, I will say this, that if you're looking for consistency, Tim Cheat, the home plate umpire, has consistently called that pitch a strike.
Right. And he did so on the first pitch to Jenkins in this at bat. pitch on the outside corner to the left-handed batter.
The only thing I know is Paul Molitor wouldn't accept it.
Is that right?
I remember he went to the same high school as Molly.
No. See, now we're going to start talking about Tom Mee and then the whole Minnesota connection.
No, we aren't.
Okay. Good. Big breaking ball in the dirt from Kile. Jenkins tonight 1 for 2.
There's Molly. It's a little flatter now that I'm remembering.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Kile, number 5 tonight. Boy, they go up there hacking, don't they, these Brewers? I mean,
Sure
they're up there swinging. Let's turn to our Pennzoil protection play of the game. And it happened early on in this game with Mr. Sexton at the plate, 2 men on, and Placido kept it a 0-0 game with this fantastic play. The runners did move up, and then Kyle got out of the inning, and that's our Pennzoil protection play of the game. Pujols is looking like he was playing on the track. One hopper, and he gets it back in quickly. Sexton, his first base hit tonight.
And Sexton was one to hit that ball. It went off of Polanco's elbow. It took a bad hop, and he stayed right with it, knocked it down, and that was big because the first two men reached via base hits. It was a 0-0 game, and that was the second out of the first inning, and then he retired Burnitz to end the first.
Burnitz has a base hit. It was back in the third, and he pops this one up. Here's Polanco, foul ground. 2 outs. That's a nice play. That is not an easy play, and he makes it look easy.
Not at all. It's easy, and sometimes a better angle is going to be for the shortstop, but you got to remember you had a left-handed batter up, pretty much a pull hitter, so that shortstop and left fielder aren't going to be there to help you. So you've got to make that play kind of running and a tough angle and reaching back over behind your head.
Here's Jose Hernandez. Seems like this guy always does well against the Cardinals, and
too well.
Yeah, and in particular this year. Lopez on deck in the first from Darryl Kile. Fastball and a strike. He's gotten it up there to 92, 93 a couple of times tonight, consistently at 91 with the fastball.
Talk about these Brewers. The strikeouts are mounting up. 48 times this year they have struck out 10 or more in a game.
This should do it. Force out at second. Kile and the Cardinals are through 5, and they lead it by the score of 8-0. We'll go to 6. Renteria, Matheny, and Kile due up. Renteria to lead it off here in the 6th, and the Cardinals with a commanding 8-0 lead. Redbird's shortstop looks at a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tonight he has grounded out to short. He's also picked up an RBI. He's 0 for 2. 47 RBIs on the year. He pops this one up. Play can be made down the right field line. The second baseman, Loretta, calls for it and has it. Makes a nice play near the foul line for out number 1. Beyond the Glory takes a look at a St. Louis hero. His name is Kurt Warner. Beyond the Glory comes your way every Sunday night, only here on Fox Sports Net. It'll also come your way tomorrow at 9. Kurt Warner, Beyond the Glory on Fox Sports Net. For folks that have not seen that one, if you are a fan of that program, make sure you tune in for the Kurt Warner profile. It is outstanding. Devon White without number 2. Off the bat of Mike Matheny, he's 1 for 3 with an RBI. And Kyle will step in. Beanie on deck, and the first pitch is taken for a ball from Darryl Kile. 8-2 Cubs. That's in the 6th inning. There are 5 games over in the American League. New York and Boston have been postponed. Seattle, Anaheim is on the West Coast, along with Texas and Oakland. Minnesota leads Detroit. That's in the ninth, 3-2. And the White Sox on top of Cleveland, 3-1 in the eighth. 3-1 on Darryl Kile. Seattle with 103 victories. They're still on pace to break the all-time record. And Kyle draws a 2-out walk. Minnesota trails by 7 games, so they could pull within 6. They still have a lot of games remaining with Cleveland. The Indians at 82-61, Minnesota 75-68. And of course the Yankees running away in the American League East. They're up by 13 games over Boston. Looks like Jimmy Williams may not have been as bad as some thought. Dan Duquette is in trouble as the general manager of the Red Sox. They are heading in the wrong direction.
A lot of people were hoping to get Jimmy Williams fired. Some of the players, some of the front office personnel, some of the fans, but they got their wish and they went right in the tank.
Yep. Vina with a ground ball, and this should be out number 3. Loretta, a little flip to Sexton, and it's the 3rd out here in the 6th. We played 5.5 here in Milwaukee. 8-0. Cardinals on top. Cardinals Cruise. You can join my partner Hungo and others. January 26th through February 2nd, 2002. You can give Altair Travel a call.
Oh, I'm telling you what, Dan. You'll be probably doing a basketball game someplace cold, and we're going to be cruising the Caribbean.
Every
You know,
time
Mike Matheny, Kerry Robinson. Oh, Carpenter, he's always, you know, in South Dakota or someplace like that. Shannon's always on his way to the moon.
But somewhere.
Jack Buck's going to be with us. I know Walt Jocketty, Mark Lamping, Mike Matheny, Kerry Robinson. Trying to get another player. There was a rumor that it could be J.D. Drew. But call Altair Travel and you'll have a ball. The Bean Dom, what a neat ship, elegant ship of the All in America.
Here's Louis Lopez, a high fly ball into right field. There's JD, and yes, he is on the bubble for that Cardinals Cruise, and he puts it away for out number 1. Get him to go, Hungo. Talk him into it.
Heck yeah. Look at Houston's off tonight, so the Cardinals can knock off a half game, get within 5, and 5 on the loss side. That's the most important thing. And San Francisco's not playing, so you could pick up a half game on the Giants on the wild card side. But I'm telling you, folks, don't be selling the Cardinals short of the Central Division. The Houston Astros have a very difficult schedule all the way through.
Advanced Auto Division standings. There's a shot. There's Mr. Polanco. 2 away. Off the bat of Kevin Brown, and that's the first time he's been retired tonight.
You know, the Houston Astros have 6 games remaining with the Cardinals, 6 with the San Francisco Giants, and 7 with the Cubbies, including the last 4 in Wrigley Field. So that is not an easy schedule. And if the Cubs were to be knocked out, they would be even tougher to play in those last 4 games up in Wrigley.
Alex Sanchez is the pinch hitter with 2 outs and nobody on here in the 6th. Speaking of San Francisco, how about the performance of Mr. Bonds yesterday? Now is 63. Without question, a legitimate shot to get to 70 or more. I don't think he's going to do it because they're still in the race, but he's made it interesting. Pujols on the run near the line, and a fan hanging over the rail.
Umpire hustling down there.
Sanchez is alive.
And if the umpire thought that Pujols was stationary and that fan reached over, he has the prerogative to award the out. But you can see he's still running hard, wasn't really at the spot. So I think the correct call is to say a foul ball.
How about Albert? Didn't even help the guy back up into the stands. Swinging bunt and a base hit for Alex Sanchez.
A lot of inexperienced pitchers would have tried to make that miraculous play and thrown the ball down the right field line. Swinging bunt, and look at it spinning like that. So he was lucky he grabbed it off balance and do the right thing. Put it in your pocket. Just get the next hitter.
9 hits on the night for the Brewers. Here's Devon White, the leadoff man, with the Cardinals in command of this one, 8-0. White tonight was hit by a pitch. He struck out and singled back in the first. First pitch swinging. There's Pujols. He'll catch this one, and the Brewers are done. They strand another one. Kile is through 6. 8-0 Redbirds. Well, it's easier than ever to buy Cardinals tickets this year. Log on to STLCardinals.com, the official source for Cardinals tickets. STLCardinals.com. 8-0 Redbirds as we play here in the 7th inning. Cardinals have been in control of this one. Got some good defense early on and a couple of big innings and a big blow off the bat of Mark McGwire, and that's been about it. Polanco, Drew, and Pujols, and then Edmonds if anybody can reach for St. Louis. They're in the top of the 7th, 8-0 Cards. Gus Gandarias, a 6'1" right-hander, will take over. Gus Gandarias, appearing for the 10th time this season, does not have a record. ERA under 4, no saves, and he has not worked that much in the major leagues this year. Sanchez takes over in center field after he pinch hit last inning. Alex Sanchez. Devon White is out of the game. Here's Polanco to lead it off. He had a base hit, 2 RBIs in the 4th. Struck out looking on a bad call in the 3rd and fly to left his first time up. Here's Gus against Placido.
It's a good way. Look at Polanco biting his tongue.
Yep. Hitting .316 overall. He's kind of cooled down in the last couple of years, or rather last couple of weeks. Gandarias gets the first out off the bat of Placido Polanco. I was saying years because I was thinking about Placido trying to be an everyday player. We talked about this earlier, Al, how the coaching staff a year ago wasn't sure if he could be that everyday player. And without a doubt, he has proven them wrong and everybody else wrong that thought he could be, because he has been consistent from day one.
Absolutely, and he is winning a lot of points, not only with Tony and his staff, but a lot of teams around the game.
2 up and 2 down. Drew grounds out. He's 1 for 4. That'll bring in Pujols, who has a base hit, a run scored, and he's 1 for 3.
Kind of noticed, Dan, we talked about you've got to get ahead of these type of clubs. You get ahead of them, and look at how quickly they've been going down. And even the Cardinals, you know, kind of pick up the pace and everything. Nice commanding lead, and things fall into place.
Right. Here's Albert with 34 home runs. What a series out in San Diego he's coming off of. A great road trip. He had 3 home runs in that series in all 3 games. All very key home runs in that series too. Seems like every time we do a telecast I asked you, but do you remember anybody jumping out and being this consistent, whether it be a pitcher or a player in the major leagues in their first season?
Oh, I'm sure there has been, but I mean, his first year numbers are up there with, you know, the best of anybody's. And I think you can make an argument that it may be the best rookie season ever.
Yep.
There's going to be some guys that have hit more home runs, but to have the home runs, the RBIs, and the average. Play 4 different positions and bat cleanup.
There's an article in today's Post-Dispatch that Compared some of the rookie seasons of all-time great players like Ted Williams and Stan the Man, and his numbers in certain categories are better than even those kinds of players. Three and one on Pujols, and there's a shot, and he just ripped that one. You could see that coming. Hit number 7 on the night, and Albert's got 2 of them. Two-hit night for Albert Pujols, and that'll bring in Edmonds.
You know, it's a controlled swing, but a vicious one. Yeah, he swings hard, but you know, it's compact and has a purpose behind it.
Here's Edmonds, and he has 2 runs scored. Edmonds tonight, a base hit, an RBI, number 95. He's walked, singled, and grounded out. Tom McLaughlin is our director. Tommy, our producer. Doug Stanton on graphics. Lindsay Polite, great job producing and helping out during the game. Our Bud Sports crew. 2-0 on Edmonds. McGwire lurking on deck. He is homer tonight. It's 3-0. Looked like this was going to be a quick inning. Yeah, Polanco to fly to right. Threw the ground ball to second base. Round number 2, and then Pujols a single on a 3-1 pitch, and now it's 3-0 on Edmonds. It's 8-0 Redbirds. Three and 1. Woody Williams and Rocky Coppinger tomorrow on WB11. Coppinger is 1-0 and Woody is 12-9. The 3-1 pitch, and Edmonds, a high drive, right field, that should stay in the park, and it will. Burnitz has it, and Jim just got under it. We're through 6.5. And now for a look at what's coming up on the National Sports Report. Let's go to the Fox Network Center. 8-0 Redbirds here in the bottom of the 7th, and a new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, as Kile is done. Left-hander Mike Matthews will come into this game, and the lefties were not used all that often this weekend because of a primarily right-handed lineup for the Dodgers. So Matthews will be used tonight, appearing for the 45th time, and he's done a very good job out of the bullpen, and in particular in facing the lefties. Kerry Robinson takes over in left field. It's part of a double switch, so Albert Pujols is out of the game. Matthews will take his spot in the order, and Robinson will take Kile's. There's Kerry in left.
And I think this is a very smart move that Darryl Kile was pitching on 7 days rest. Obviously didn't have his good stuff. He still couldn't score off the veteran, but he gives up 9 hits, and now you kind of get him a little more rest. You get him to relax a little bit.
Mark Loretta will lead things off for the Brewers, and then Jenkins and Sexton. So important to have that good left-hander in a tight game against the Brewers. When you've got guys like Jenkins and Burnitz, you can turn around Devon White if you want to, a switch hitter. Here's Loretta, who has a base hit tonight. And the first pitch from Mike is a ball. 8-0 St. Louis. 8-2 Chicago on top of Cincinnati in the 7th.
Mike made a couple starts against these Brewers and beat Ben Sheets when he was going strong before he went down to injury.
And at that time, you would have figured Ben would be the rookie pitcher of the year.
Yeah, he was the way he was started out, right? And Oswalt was in the minor leagues.
Right. The Astros have some kind of pitching.
You know, Dan, Oswald's 14-2, and the only game he's lost as a starter was to the Cardinals.
Right. But that Astros pitching so young too, Al. That's the other thing. I mean, their 4 top starters are all 23 or younger. Leadoff walk to Loretta. That'll bring in Jenkins. Lefties don't hit very well against Mike.
Well, it's not the time, and you know, sometimes it happens in a game and there's no excuse for it, but you see one of your aces like a Darryl Kile, and he's got a shutout going, and the bullpen kind of relaxes. But if anybody was watching this game, you knew he was not going to go much more than 6 or 7 innings. So even with the shutout intact, so the guys still in the bullpen would have to get their thinking caps and be ready mentally to come into pitch.
Kyle did strike out 5 tonight. The first pitch to Jenkins is a ball. Now Mike Matheny wants to talk it over with Matthews. Elvis Pena is the pinch runner at first. Made his major league debut at Houston.
He'll probably go in to play second base for Loretta. He's an infielder.
One-0 pitch. 2-0. Have a note here that says happy birthday to Mary Baby Lewis. Turns 35 today. Happy birthday, baby. We get some notes up here. There's a strike, 2-1.
How old are you? Calling a 35-year-old a baby.
I didn't write the note.
Delayed call on the breaking ball, but I think the correct call.
One final in Major League Baseball, and Minnesota beat Detroit 3-2. White Sox have added 2 more runs. They lead at 5-1 on top of Cleveland. And a full count here on Jenkins. Mike Matthews spent a number of years in the minor leagues, and one of the things that he said got him to the show now is throwing strikes, and here he's gone 3-2 on his second batter. That's fouled back.
He's thrown 10 pitches, 7 balls, 3 strikes.
A few of those pitches haven't even been close. Loretta, the leadoff walk. He's at first. And then it was pinch run for by Elvis Pena. And here's Jenkins. It's popped up and out of play. Woody Williams has been fun to watch. He'll make a start tomorrow. That game on WB11. Then Wednesday night, Dustin Hermanson against Max Suzuki. And Bud Smith is due to throw on Thursday afternoon. Jenkins 1 for 3, doubled back in the third. Full count pitch, got him. Good pitch there by Matthews. Strikeout. And the first out here in the 7th. We'll bring in Sexton. 6 strikeouts for the Brewers tonight.
Couple breaking balls on 3-2, and finally gets Jenkins. Second time he struck out tonight. 2 of the 6 strikeouts.
Sexton is 1 for 3. The Brewers have left an awful lot of runners on base tonight.
10 runners through the first 6 innings.
Left runners in every inning, but they have yet to score. It's 8-0.
Davey Lopes was a base stealing, line drive type hitter. It's got to drive him crazy.
And a big fan of Ricky Henderson. Wasn't too happy with Ricky earlier this season. Not too long ago, really. Ricky took second on a game that was, what, 5-run lead, I think?
5-run lead or something, and then Davey just got real upset with him. So that's not how you play the game. And then somebody looked up the records of Davey Lopes and found out that 7 times in his career he had stole bases with 5 runs or more, including 1 time, 2nd and 3rd. And
Lopes had, what, 557 stolen bases.
Yeah, but he got a few of them when he shouldn't have, in an era which wasn't as offensive. So, I mean, Dan, there were times when, where stolen base leader might have had under 30 bases because they just didn't run when you had leads.
1975 was the year that he had the most stolen bases in his career. He had 77 that year. Came up with Los Angeles in 1972. He says he owes Tommy Lasorda everything in this game for him. Spent time with Oakland, the Cubs, and then finished his major league career in 1987 with Houston. Gutsy, wasn't he, Al?
Well, they had those great teams where the infield was together for 10+ years.
Polanco gets the lead man at second, the force at second. That was the only play that could be made, and it's up to Burnitz.
And Steve Garvey, Lopes, Garvey at first, Lopes at second, Billy Russell at short, and Ron Say, the Penguin, at third.
Yep. Say wound up with Chicago, Garvey in San Diego. Burnitz a check swing, and he went around. Yes, good pitch by Mike Matthews.
And you kind of had Joe Ferguson and Steve Yeager splitting duty behind the plate.
Right. 0-2 quickly on Burnitz. He's looking for something else. Sexton at first with 2 outs. Breaking ball pulled foul. Mike James throwing in the Cardinals bullpen, right-hander. 8-0 Redbirds on 7 hits. 1-2.
Danny, I got some homework for you to do. You know, on Saturday when the Cardinals used 9 pitchers, that was the 5th time in Major League history that 9 pitchers were employed in a 9-inning game. I bet it was the first time that it was for a victory.
You think so?
Yeah. And especially with the starter getting the win.
That's to me, that was the amazing part of it. That the starter held on through all that.
Starter got the win and used 8 relief pitchers. The other times, including one time was this year, was with Texas, and I think there was a blowout.
Right. Two and two the count on Burnitz. The Brewers say changes are coming here in Milwaukee after another disappointing season. And not just with their pitching coach, but with personnel on the field.
Now we'll have the All-Star game here next year, so there'll be a lot of excitement, but a lot of fans were really expecting this team. There's Fred Hanser, one of the Cardinals owners, in attendance here, but a lot of the fans were expecting a lot more from their team this year.
2 strikeouts in the inning for Mike Matthews. Through 7, the Cardinals pitching a shutout.
Move to the 8th inning with the Cardinals a commanding 8-0 lead over Milwaukee. And today's play of the game is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Nothing game until Mark McGwire, with a man on, Edmonds walked, hits this ball all the way off the scoreboard in dead center field, his 24th of the year, gives the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. Then they had a big 6 spot in the Cardinal 4th. So McGwire, the 2-run home run, he walked in the 4th, struck out in the 5th, and here he's batting in the 8th. Kyle's the first pitch.
All kinds of changes out there.
Oh yeah, we've got Coolbaugh playing third. Lopez moves from third to short. Pena stays in the game, plays second, and Mark Sweeney over at first.
Here's Mark McGwire, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got the scoring started early in this game. That was in the 2nd inning. A 2-run home run, number 24 for Big Mac, to dead center off the scoreboard. Of course, our Bud Light play of the game. 2-1 the count. Big Mac has also struck out to end the 5th and walked. 8-0 St. Louis.
Gus Gandarias. It's like a slider type pitcher. Big Mac's done a lot of damage on sliders throughout his career.
8th inning, 8-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Didn't want the fastball, wants the slider.
Here it is to McGwire. Held up. Full count. Boy, it'd be nice just to see him go on a tear here. Maybe tonight starts that.
Tried to throw the fastballs under his hands.
The 3-2 pitch. McGwire walks for the 2nd time tonight. That'll bring in Renteria. Some of the fans head for the exits after that McGwire at bat. Edgar's 0 for 3 tonight. You see a pinch runner now as Craig Paquette will come in and run for Mark McGwire.
Now they can officially leave.
Yeah. Midwest Sports Report will come your way after this game here tonight. After the final out with Rob King and Pat Paris. Fouled away, right side, and out of play. Sweeney, the former Redbird, gives it a look. One of the more likable guys in the game is Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, good guy. Hard to believe that he's hasn't stayed at the big league level the last couple of years, but he's had some injuries, and talked to him before the game, said he's healthy now and looking forward to being in St. Louis next week.
The 0-1 pitch and make it 0-2. Renteria tonight is grounded to short. Get into a force play and has an RBI. He also popped out to second. Mike Matheny is on deck. The 0-2 pitch is coming. They don't hold Paquette. 1-2.
Renteria and Vina, a couple guys that are looking for hits tonight.
Double play ball. 2 outs. This fall baseball's postseason unfolds right here on Fox. First 8 of baseball's best battle it out. The American and National League Division Series on both Fox and Fox Family. Then follow the drama of the ALCS, the NLCS, all the way to the crowning of the 2001 World Series champion. Only here, your local Fox affiliate. There's Mike Matheny. He's 1 for 3, the former Brewer. Looks at a strike. Matheny was part of that big 4th inning. The Cardinals picked up 6 runs. They scored 2 in the 2nd, 6 in the 4th, and lead it 8-0 on 7 hits. A shot up the middle and a base hit, a 2-hit night for Mike. He's been struggling at the plate. Did a good job of hitting here tonight.
And he got a hanger the first time. Here's another pitch kind of sitting up there, but you still have to hit it. And didn't try to do too much with it. Took it right back up the middle, and another solid hit for him. 2 for 4 in the night.
Gary Robinson will step to the plate for the first time tonight. The first pitch to him. Ball on the outside corner. WB11 and the Cardinal Television Network tomorrow night, and then back here on Fox at the pregame show, 6:30 on Wednesday. 1-0 pitch to Carey. Fly ball left center. Jenkins calls for it and has it for the 3rd out. Bottom of the 8th we go, and it's 8-0 Redbirds on top. Bottom of the 8th, and it's 8-0 Redbirds. Matthews back to work, his 2nd inning of work as he takes over for Kile. Beyond the Glory, a special edition tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Net at 9. Rams quarterback Kurt Warner will be featured tomorrow at 9. Beyond the Glory. Craig Paquette stays in the game. Kurt Warner tomorrow at 9. Paquette takes over for Mark McGwire. He pinch ran for Big Mac after he drew his 2nd walk of the game last inning. In the top half of the 8th, and Paquette stays in the game and takes over at first base. Coolbaugh is the first hitter, 3rd baseman for Milwaukee. 8-0 Redbirds. 8-2 Chicago over Cincinnati. That's in the 8th inning. Mike Coolbaugh, the hitter, his first time to the plate. First pitch swinging. And a good tight breaking ball from Matthews. Hit it off his foot. Foul ball, 0-2. We were talking a little bit about Bonds before, though, Al. 63. Do you think he's got a shot? Think he'll do it?
He obviously has a shot, and if they pitch to him as poorly as the Rockies did. And Dan, you were telling me in extra innings with first base open, they pitched to it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, that's the thing that you kind of question.
That's why I don't think he'll get to it, because number one, they're in contention. Number two, they're going against teams that are in contention as well, which I think is a huge factor. Strikeout for Matthews, his 3rd on the night. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom. 30 years, one mission, low fares. And by Advanced Auto, the best part is our people. Advanced Auto Parts. Arizona's up by 1.5 games over San Francisco as Lopez digs in. After tonight, the Cardinals will be 5 back of Houston in the Central. And no one wants to win the National League East between Atlanta and Philadelphia. The Mets have crawled to within 8 games. The Brewers have 9 hits, but nothing to show for it. This man has no hits tonight. 2 up and 2 down.
Mike Matthews, after struggling a little bit, first 6 pitches were balls, settled in, and he strikes out 3.
It's moved to the 9th in the White Sox lead. Cleveland 7-1. Minnesota over Detroit 3-2. And Seattle has jumped out on top of Anaheim by the score of 2-0. And Oakland leads Texas in the first 4-0. How good is that Oakland team? They've got Barry Zito throwing tonight. He's 12-8. Their top 3 starters are pretty impressive.
Well, how good are they? Well, if they win tonight, they'll be 30 games over 500 and 17 games off Seattle's pace.
That's unbelievable.
Seattle is 63 games over 500. 103, 103 victories, 40 losses. Sure, you get into postseason play and it all goes for naught if you lose in that first round.
Right.
And that's pressure. That first round,
they've got the most pressure. Out of anybody, they've got the most pressure. And the way it looks is that the Yankees will face Oakland in the first round of the playoffs, and then Seattle will get the other winner. Roger Clemens, by the way, is looking for his 20th victory. He's on his way to another Cy Young Award. That'll be his 6th. He's 19-1.
I was going to say 19-1. How old is he now? 38 or somewhere in that vicinity.
He's got that unbelievable regimen that he goes through as far as preparing for games. They say that he does more before a start, the day of a game, than most guys do in between starts. Popped up to short. We'll head to the 9th. Cardinals have a lead of 8-0. They're in control of game 1 of this 4-game set. Eight to nothing Redbirds, top of the 9th here in Milwaukee. Cardinals have been in control. Mark McGwire, a 2-run shot. Stubby Clapp is working on the lumber. Here's Ray King.
He's been busy this year, appearing for the 71st time. ERA under 4. He's 0-4, 1 save. Opponent's batting .237. 70 appearance, but look at only 45 and 2/3 innings. 40 hits allowed, 5 home runs, 22 walks, and 43 strikeouts. The only left-hander, and I said, you don't even have another left-hander in your organization? Davey Lope said, nope.
That's it.
Well, gone all season with 1 lefty in the bullpen and didn't even call up one.
It's job security, isn't it?
Sorta. But you know, you would think they would need to acquire one if they're going to be serious about being a contending team.
I like King, don't you?
Yeah, he is hard not to like him.
Here's Vina, 0 for 3 tonight.
It's like a pulling guard, and he goes right after people.
Vina, Polanco, and Drew. Ground ball hit to second. And that's out number 1 here in the top of the 9th with the Cardinals in control 8-0. Pat Paris has a look at what's coming up after the final out of this game.
I'm Pat Paris. Join Rob King and myself on the Midwest Sports Report following the game. Tonight we take a look at the comeback of Alan Bennis. More on the Rams' thrilling overtime win in Philly. And Jeff Gordon explains what the Rams and the Wizard of Oz have in common. Now back to Dan and Al.
Pat will be along with Rob King with the Midwest Sports Report. Final out of this game as Polanco looks at a strike. Placido tonight 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Miguel Cairo has moved to the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for J.D. Drew.
Got 2 of the top guys, Polanco and Renteria, in the league against left-handed pitchers, and Cairo is very good average-wise against them, just not as many bats.
2-1 on Polanco. Cardinals got 2 in the second on the McGwire home run, and then 6 in the fourth. Lead at 8-0. 2-2 on Placido Polanco. Kile will pinch hit for J.D. Drew, but Drew had a big play in this game. There's been a couple of big defensive plays. One made by Polanco. That was in the first inning. Another by Drew. Placido, a nice job of hitting. 1 out base hit here in the 9th, and he strokes it into right. Well, Kile will pinch hit for J.D. Drew, but as I mentioned, a big defensive play by J.D., and it's part of our Pizza Hut perfect delivery of the game.
End of the 3rd inning as a runner tried to score. It was a 2-0 game at this point. This was the final out of the 3rd inning. Then the Cardinals went on to score 6 runs in their 4th inning. And that was a key moment. And wouldn't a Pizza Hut pepperoni lovers pizza, that'd be a perfect delivery, wouldn't it?
You a little hungry, Al?
Yeah.
Well, me too.
My major complaint about this park is I would have taken the food at the other books.
Great brats.
Now they got a full kitchen and they don't know how to use it.
You got that right. Miguel is 0 for his last 8. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball hit the 3rd. This might be 2. Out at 2nd. Out at 1st in a double play. Good turn at 2nd. 5-4-3 double play. And we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals in control of this one. Mike Matthews in his 3rd inning of work. Darryl Kile in line for his 14th victory, and the Redbirds in line for another win here tonight. Cardinals will improve to 79-64 if they hold on. They're up 8-0.
Matthews would be in line for a save.
Yeah. It is 3 innings of work. At this point last season, the Cardinals were 82-60. So really not that far off of their mark from a year ago. Here's Alex Sanchez, beat out an infield hit back in the 6th inning. A little swinging bunt with 2 outs.
Save would be the first for Mike's career.
Quickly 0-2.
You know, save rule has changed over the years, Danny. I remember playing with, what's his, I'm thinking in a minute, but a reliever in Kansas City came into a game, pitched 4 innings, gave up a home run, and was not credited with a save. Gave up 1 run in 4 innings, and the official score said he did not do a credible job.
What do you have to do then?
I guess he had to be scoreless.
Yeah.
Steve McGwire, you know, a guy that had very few save opportunities, and here he pitches a heck of a game. It probably was 3 innings, but he gave up a home run, a solo home run, and the official score took the save away from him. Because it's in their judgment, did he do a good job?
Now, if that was you, you would have sought him out, confronted him.
Oh, absolutely not.
You wouldn't have?
You know, I can't tell you what I would have done. No.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
He wouldn't be official scoring anymore.
No, I mean, if they want to be ridiculous, let them be it. But now you see guys come in for 1 inning and have a 3-run lead, give up 2 home runs and get a save.
Right. Here's the catcher, Jesse Levis.
It's a 4th strikeout for Matthews.
He's pitched pretty well.
Yes, he has.
Levis took over for Brown behind the plate a couple innings ago.
You know, there's been Even though it's a save opportunity for Mike and you're happy to have him get his first major league save, at some point you got to say, when do you feel comfortable letting Andy pitch again?
The 2-0 pitch from Mike Matthews. 3-0. It's been a while since we've seen Andy. I'd like to see him get back out there. Last time we saw him was when San Diego was in St. Louis. 4 straight. Levis draws the walk. 1-out walk. No action in the Cardinal bullpen. And let's see if he can get the double play here at Pena. Elvis Pena, acquired from the Rockies in April, will dig in. His first plate appearance tonight. This will be pitch number 46 coming from Mike Matthews.
Talked to somebody, and I associated with the Brewers, and I said, looking at some of the new names and asking what position they play, what's this guy? And said Pena, 240 hitter. Why is he here? I mean, that was a response from the Brewers.
That's not much confidence, is it? It's not saying much about your talent base either. 1 out, and here's a double play candidate in Pena.
Did enter this game as a pinch runner.
2-1 the count. Cardinals trying to hang on for victory number 79.
Oh man, well, he fits in this team.
2-2.
Little guy swinging from his heels. And you wonder why you hit 240. I wonder why he hit that high.
Here comes a 2-2 pitch.
The reason you let Matthews go 3 innings this game is because you not only have Klein, but you have a second or third left-hander and Jeff Tabaka down there. So you still are covered for the next couple days.
Round ball left side. What a play by Polanco. The turn. They got it, and that's a victory. 79 victories on the year. 5 games out in the Central. Kile is 14-10, and what a double play to end this game.
Yeah, that was just inches from getting beyond the reach of Polanco, and they got that to it and got the throw off to second base, and they complete the double play. What a nice victory. Darryl Kile picks up win number 14. Mike Matthews, his first major league save, and a convincing 8-0 win.
For Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and all the gang here in Milwaukee. Midwest Sports Report comes your way now, 8-0. Quite a victory for St. Louis.